How do you solve GED science friction direction problems? Imagine pushing a heavy box across the floor. You feel resistance pushing back against your hand. That resistance is what we call friction, and understanding its direction is key to solving many science questions. When you see a problem about forces and motion on the GED test, especially involving friction, you need to figure out which way friction acts. First, know that there are two main types of friction. Static friction happens when an object is not moving and keeps it from starting to slide. Kinetic friction occurs when the object is sliding and opposes that motion. Usually, for direction questions, static friction is the main focus because it prevents movement. Next, look at all the forces acting on the object. Draw a simple diagram showing gravity pulling down, the normal force pushing up from the surface, any applied force pushing or pulling, and the friction force. The normal force is especially important because the amount of friction depends on it. Now think about what would happen if there was no friction. Which way would the object tend to move? Friction always acts opposite to this potential or actual movement. For example, if you push a box to the right and it does not move, friction pushes back to the left. If the box starts sliding to the right, kinetic friction still pushes to the left, resisting that motion. Use Newton's laws to help. If the object is not moving, the total forces in all directions balance out. Friction balances the push or pull trying to move the object. If the object moves, friction acts opposite the direction of motion. Sometimes, you will need to calculate the friction force. To do this, multiply the coefficient of friction by the normal force. The coefficient is given in the problem or can be found in a table. The friction force will tell you how strong the resistance is, but the direction is always opposite the movement or the direction the object would move if friction was not there. Check if the object is at rest or moving. If it is at rest, friction is balancing the other forces trying to move it. If it is sliding, kinetic friction is resisting the motion. Remember, the key to solving these problems is to always think about what direction the object would go if there was no friction. Friction opposes that direction. For example, if a block is pushed to the right but does not move, friction acts to the left. If the block starts sliding right, kinetic friction still pushes left. So, when solving, always ask yourself, which way would the object go if there was no friction? The answer to that question is the direction friction acts. A good tip is to sketch the forces clearly. This helps you visualize the problem. Always remember that friction opposes the potential or actual movement. Use the given information about forces and the coefficient of friction to determine the magnitude and direction. By following these steps, you'll be able to confidently figure out the direction of friction in any force and motion problem on the GED test. Keep practicing with different scenarios, and soon it will become second nature to identify which way friction pushes back.